Students, those who says good morning, I am also saying good morning. So online students, am I audible to you people? Okay. So now let us move to the further.
This meeting is
Already
being
in the
recorded.
previous session, 9 a.m. under OOPS, index of OOPS. I mean, there I last class completed. Data encapsulation and abstraction already done. Now I'm entering into inheritance now. Today we are entering into inheritance. So let us start with inheritance now. Easy, so easy. Once we know classes and object, it is going to be dead easy now. So let us start understanding about what is this inheritance is. So as a part of this inheritance, we are understanding why we need to go for inheritance, how many types of inheritances are available, their types I am talking, syntax for inheriting the features of Python, and followed by programming examples. So now let's start the discussion. What is this inheritance importance? Very, very easy. So as a part of our functional programming, as a part of functional programming, how we used to reuse, what are the reusable techniques, what are the reusable concepts which you learned in the class. Number one is called functions, number two is called modules, number three called packages. These are the three important things which we learned it as a part of our functional programming. So here, when you take it, x.py, this is called one file name. Def f1 is one function name having some definition here. Next is called one more function. I will take it. Def2, def function example 2.py, 2.py. Next is called 3. Here I am going to write 3. Def f3. I'm going to take it f3. This is called file name and then module name. This is a file name and then module name. This is. So this part is taken by KVR is a programmer. KVR.py is a program defining the programmer, defining this. Want to call F1, F2, F3. Directly if I call F1, directly if I call F2, directly if I call F3, you will get what? Name error. Because for every function call, you must specify function definition also. So these function definitions are present into where? In the program called what? X.py. In the program called x.py, these kind of functions are available. If we write directly F1, F2, F3, you will get what? Error. Name error, you will get it. So to avoid this problem, what we do? From X module, import F1, comma, F2, comma, F3. From X, import F1, F2, F3. This is what we are importing and we are calling the functions like this. So this F1, F2, F3 are called what here? Function names. Every function name is called what? Object. Every function name is an object of class function. Every function name is an object of class called function. Already I said to you. So whenever I say F1, F2, F3 here like this, you are getting the output. You are not writing. Already the code was defined here, and that code we are not going to put the efforts to write it. That's the best advantage. But the small drawback is what? Whenever you say from X import F1, F2, F3, they are taking memory space for F1, F2, F3 because they are called objects. Advantage is what? We are not putting much efforts to define the logic once again. Already logic was defined. It's a good advantage. But the point is they are taking F1, F2, F3, taking the memory space. Whenever you import any module name and importing the functions, through functional programming, you will be getting additional memory space for these function names. Advantage is what? Need not to put your efforts to define the logic. Another person is doing what? One more person is writing the code. KVR1.py. Another time also importing. That time also taking the memory space. Another time also importing. Another time also taking the memory space. If I import 200 times memory space is taken for F1, F2, F3. We don't want we don't want this type of drawback. What is an advantage here? We need not to write the code. We need not to write the code. Need not to write the code. This is one advantage. We need not to write the code. This is one advantage. What is the drawback here? Drawback is what? Whenever I'm importing the function through module, that function is taking the memory space. We don't want the type of thing. We are expecting neither we don't want to write the source code nor don't want to take the physical memory space. That can be possible in OOPS with inheritance. OOPS with inheritance it is possible. Inheritance is also one of the reusable topic in object-oriented principles. So what is that? Inheritance is in general life if you take it. General life if you take it. There is a parents worked for 60 years and defined some type of properties for you. Defined some properties for you. When the child is coming, when the child is having the birth, that child is having in the first day itself, whatever the properties they defined with them, those properties are coming to you. That means it doesn't mean that you worked for that many years, you doesn't put that many efforts, and you are getting the total properties of your parent to the child. So this parent is known as what base class or super class or parent class we can call. The child class is called a subclass or a derived class or also called child class we can call. So inheritance advantage is what? Neither we write the source code nor takes the physical memory space. That is a basic advantage. Let us take one example here. Now I'm taking one small example. Try to understand the diagram I'm going to give you. This is called my class student. This is my class which I'm defining it. This is the class which I'm defining it. There I'm going to write it. This is my class. KVR is a class. KVR is a class name. This is called a class name. In this class name, I'm going to take up one function I'm taking. One function I'm taking. What is the function name I'm saying taking, DEF generate QR code. Generate QR code I'm going to write it. Generate QR code I'm writing. Generate QR code I'm going to define. So there I'm going to write it. Inside of that, there I'm going to write it something like this. So here I'm going to write it written like this. Here I'm going to write it. So this is the code I wrote it. This lines of code is how many? Assume that I written some number of lines of code. I wrote around, for example, 5 lines of code. Assume that 5 lines of code I'm writing and it took it around 5 minutes of time is taken up. This is my development here, for example. So this is a development I have. So this development, who want this code? Suppose, for example, there is an X programmer, there is a Y programmer, there is an X programmer, there is a Y programmer. Like that, number of people are available with me. So there is an X programmer, Y programmer, like that number of people are available. So who's this code I want? This code I want, this code I want without taking any physical efforts of this. So assume that is called Rajesh. Next is called Ramesh. Next is called something like next is called these are the programmers. These are the classes. This is a Ramu. Next is called what something like Ranjan. So I'm taking these are the programmer students. These programmers want what? Same code they want. What I will do without inheritance, I will ask them, define the same code again. Define the same code again. again, define the same code again. Because of that, what will happen? Drawbacks will come. What is the number one drawback? Come on, Madhubabulu, come on first. Startup problem. If they write the same code again and again, development time is more, takes more space to execute, more execution time is taking to execute, more space is taking, definitely to create more space, more execution time required. Plus what? More execution time, performance is losing, and we are going to get the redundancy of the code is more. Same code we are writing again and again. That gives you what? The redundancy problem. If I change my code here, the same code need to change once again in this place. That gives you redundancy problem. So there are five problems are going to come. These five problems are happening without using inheritance. When I use inheritance, what will happen? Whatever the code was developed in the KVR class, they are getting the method of KVR class into where Rajesh class. They are getting the method of KVR class into where Rajesh class. It is a class to class we are going to get the reusability. So class to class means what? Not taking physical memory space. Because whenever you define a class, memory space is not created for the class. Memory space is coming for when we create object. So all these people will get the generate QR code method from KVR class into these classes. That procedure is known as what? What procedure it is? Inheritance. So that the generate QR code is written 5 lines and 5 minutes of time taken. That 5 minutes and 5 minutes of time not taking. Nobody is taking 5 minutes and 5 minutes of time, 5 lines of code. Nobody is taking. Is it a great advantage or not? So, what is the concept of inheritance? In a class, what are present? Data members will present, methods will present, constructors will present, destructors also will present. Destructor for few minutes you keep it aside. I will tell you that process separately. Data members, methods, constructors which are present into one class. If you want the same concept once again in your class, don't write the same thing once again here. Try to do what? Inherit, get the data members and methods and constructor from one class into where? Another class. How to get it? By using the concept of what? Inheritance. Get the data members and methods of one class into another class. Inheritance I am using. Get the data members and methods of one class into another class by using inheritance. Get the data members from one class into another class by using inheritance. We are going to do it. So finally, I am going to conclude it. Generate QR code is available in every place. Physically, is it available physically? No, that is available virtually. What do you mean by virtual? Meaning we feel that they are available, but in reality, they are not existing with a physical memory space. That is the meaning of what? Virtuality. For example, online students are there, for example. Who are there? 114 students are there. They are there in my class, but they are not using any memory space in my class. They are not using any resources of my class. They are available in the remote and they are listening the class like you people. You are taking physical memory space in my class, physical resources you are using. They are not using any physical resources. That is nothing but what their appearance, virtual appearance. What is meant by virtuality? Neither physical memory space is taken, nor code we are writing it, but that code is available as it is. That is known as what you know, virtual memory management we can call. Virtual memory management we can call. It is also called as one more word, logical memory management. Inheritance concept always follows what? Logical memory management or virtual memory management it follows. So what is the definition of inheritance? The process of obtaining the data members, methods, and constructors from one class into another class is called inheritance. The class which is giving the data members and methods and constructor to another class is called base, is called superclass, is called what you know parent class. The class which is the class which is taking the data members, methods, and then constructors. is called what subclass or derived class or child class we can call. Child class we can call. So inheritance concept always follows which concept? Inheritance concept always follows which memory management? Virtual memory management. What do you mean by virtual memory management? Virtual memory management means neither we write the source code, not writing the same code again. Second one is what? Nor taking the physical memory space. It is the real advantage of reusability. When you go to functions, modules, and then packages, what will happen? We are not writing the physical source code. There is an advantage. But they are taking what? Memory space is taking. Are you taking the memory space here? Are you following this memory space now? So here I'm going to take it. Memory space is taking in the functional programming. But here memory space is not at all taking. This is the meaning of what? Inheritance. Is it understandable? What are the advantages of inheritance? This code was already written, not writing the same code again. Number one, application development time is very less. Once development time is less, so other people are feeling that it is a comfortable concept. Next one is called what? The same code which you have written 5 lines is taking 5 lines only. If I don't follow the inheritance, 5 lines, 5 lines, 5 lines, 5 lines, 4 into 5, 20 lines it is taking. But here it is taken one time I wrote it. Other people are just reusing without writing the code. But obviously it takes the memory space is called what? Very less. Memory space is very less. It is the second. Third one is called what? And it is going to take it. Once memory space is less, what about the execution time? Execution time is very much less because once memory space is less, execution will be faster. Fastest execution is nothing but less execution time. Fourth one is called what? Performance is increasing like anything. I define one time, hundreds and thousands of people can reuse without writing the code. Performance is increasing. Fifth one, when I change the code one time here, one time if I change the code in the base class, automatically it is reflected to all the derived classes. But the redundancy of the code is reduced. Because of redundancy coding, redundancy is reduced. Whatever the changes I do, that reflect to every subclass. That is going to be one great advantage. Suppose if I don't follow inheritance, if I am asking change the code, some people may change the code, some people may not be able to change the code. So because of that, what is happening? Some places, some result, some other places that result will not be coming. That leads to what? Problems. So redundancy of the code is reduced. This points I said in the functions itself. Because the reusability concept is going to be same in both the places. So if I come to an inheritance, I hope that you understood the inheritance here. Now I'm going to take up what do you mean by inheritance introduction. I will show you here. Try to follow me carefully. Inheritance I am just showing here. Try to read out. So what is the use of inheritance? Is one of the distinct feature of OOPS. The purpose of inheritance concept is that to build reusable applications with effective memory management in Python object-oriented programming. Definition of inheritance. The process of obtaining data members, methods, and constructors. That is called what? Features. These three things are known as what? Features. Data members, methods, and constructors of one class into another class is called inheritance. The class which is giving data members, methods, and constructors is called super or base or parent class. The class which is taking data members, methods, and constructors is called sub or derived or child class. Inheritance concept always follows logical or virtual memory management. This memory management says that neither we write the source code nor takes physical memory space. This is a concept of what? Virtual memory management. Advantages of inheritance. When we develop any inheritance based application, we get the following advantages. Number one, application development time is less, application memory space is less, application execution time is fast or less, performance is improved, and redundancy of the code is minimized. These are the advantages of inheritance. I hope it is followed. So, inheritance concept is building the reusable applications with virtual memory management. This memory management says we don't write the source code nor we write the physical memory space. This is a special advantages of inheritance definition. Now I'm going to enter into the further. After understanding this concept, online students, is it clear? Is this entire thing is clear? Come on, all of you respond it. Then I will move to the next continuation part of it. Students, after doing this, you are supposed to understand the next moment. The next moment is we understood the meaning of inheritance here. So, how many ways are there to get this data members that you are supposed to understand? Types of inheritances, or we are also supposed to understand these are what? Reusable techniques. Reusable techniques. Reusable techniques in Python, I want to go for it. Very simple, students. Let us start understanding. What do you mean by type of inheritance or type of reusable technique? So, there I am going to talk about it. Very, very simple here. Students, actually, we are having five types of inheritances are available. First, try to understand what do you mean by type of inheritance. Type of inheritance is one type of diagram. Type of inheritance is one type of diagram, or one type of what you know, it is one type of diagram, or it is called one type of model. It is called one type of model. It is also called one type of pattern, student. It is called one type of pattern. What it makes you to understand? That makes you to understand, that makes you to understand how the features are coming, how the features are coming. I already said the features. Features means what? Data members, methods, and constructors. How the features are coming from, how the features are coming from which class? Base class into derived class. Base class into which class? Derived class. Base class into derived class. That type of model diagram is known as what? Type of inheritance. How many types of inheritances are there? How many types of patterns are there? Now I'm going to talk about it. Types of inheritances, I'm going to talk about it. So, what are those now? Number one is called single inheritance. Single inheritance, number one. Second one we are talking about, I'll explain what is single inheritance. Next is called multi-level inheritance. Multi-level inheritance. Next is called what do you know? Another one is called multi-level inheritance. Third one is called what do you know? Hierarchical inheritance. Hierarchical inheritance. And the other one is called what do you know? Multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance. And the next fifth one is called what do you know? Hybrid inheritance. Hybrid inheritance. Hybrid inheritance. So what do you mean by these inheritance types? How many types of inheritances? Five. So what is single inheritance? I just want to tell you. Simple, students. I'll tell you the diagrammatic representation. Coding we will go very shortly. So when you come to single inheritance, I'm generally explaining. In the coding we will go one by one. Suppose your parent and you. Your parent and you. So this is going to be known as what? Model of what? Single inheritance. So in single inheritance, what is available? Parent having one child. Parent is having one child. This model is known as what? Single inheritance. In single inheritance, there exists a single base class. There exists a single derived class. There exists a single derived class. Is known as what? Single inheritance. So single inheritance contains what? Single base class and then single derived class. That type of diagram or pattern is known as what? That type of diagram or pattern is known as what? Single inheritance. So remember that single inheritance contains single base class, single derived class. Next, multi-level inheritance, you take it. Multi-level, easy. So parent and then child. This is called single inheritance. Good. Now, students, the parent is having the parent to parent. Parent to parent for you, who is that? Grandparent. It is called a grandparent. Grandparent also contains what? Parent. Who is this? Grandparent. He is called a grandparent. Take care this. This is an example of what? Multi-level inheritance. So in this multi-level inheritance, you try to understand the terminology. This is called a base class or super class. This is called the derived class. This is called the derived class. This terminology is clear. Now you take both of them, grandparent and grandparent. This is known as grand and grandparent is known as what here? This is called which class? Derived class. This is right or not? In the case of what? These two. Next, you come to these two. Come to you come to these two. So grandparent and parent is called what here? Grandparent is known as which class here? Base class. So that time it is known as which class? Period class. You take both of them like this. You take both of them like this. What is this is known as? Base class. What is this is called? So grandparent and parent are called what here? Period class come base class. We call it as intermediate base classes we can call. Intermediate base classes we can call. Intermediate base classes. So what do you mean by intermediate base class? In one moment of time, it is acting as a derived class. In another moment of time, it is acting as a base class. This type of model is known as what? Come on, quickly. Multi-level inheritance we can call. So in multi-level inheritance, what is existing? One base class, one derived class, one or more intermediate base classes. That type of diagrammatic representation is called what? Multi-level. So C1 to C2, C2 to C3. What is C3 called? Derived class. What is C1 is called? Base class. What is C2 is called? Base class come derived class, which is known as which class? Intermediate base class we can call. Intermediate base class we can call. So I think multi-level inheritance is clear. Online students respond. Is multi-level inheritance is clear? Right. So let me move to the further. Hierarchical inheritance, I want to go for it. Hierarchical inheritance. What do you mean by this hierarchical inheritance? The name itself says that hierarchy. A teacher in the class, a teacher in the class having lot of students, having lot of students here. Take it S1, S2, S3, so on, Sn, so on, something like Sn. What are these called? S1, S2 are called what? S1, S2, S3 are called what? Come on. This is called which class? Base class. These two are called what? Derived classes. These are all called derived classes. This is known as what? Hierarchy. This is known as hierarchical inheritance. In hierarchical inheritance, what will be existing? Single base class is available and multiple derived classes are available, which is known as what? Hierarchical inheritance. A parent in the home having three children, child one, child two, child three. Multiple childs are there. It is known as which class? Come on, hierarchical inheritance. Only one parent and one child is called what? Single. Grandparent, grandparent, parent, and then child is called what? Multi-level. Easy. So you understood hierarchical inheritance contains what? Single base class, multiple derived classes. That is known as what? Hierarchical. Come to next, multiple inheritance. Come on, multiple inheritance contains opposite. Now you see your LKG teachers, your upper primary school teachers, and your upper primary teachers, 10 plus 2 teachers, that is intermediate teachers, and your BTech teachers, this much of teachers' data is present in your mind. These many students trained you. These many students trained you. This is called a student. And all these teachers' knowledge is there in you today. Right or not? This is known as what knowledge, what concept? Multiple inheritance. These are all called what? Base classes. This is called which class? It is known as which inheritance? Multiple base classes. Multiple inheritance. Is it clear or not clear? For us, you missed KVR. Yes. KVR is not going to be a part of this. 100% I am not be the part of it. That's why I said a dual meaning here. This many people's knowledge is available in your place. That's why today you are like this. So LKG knowledge, upper primary, school teachers, everything is available in you. Everything is there in the brain. No. So KVR is different from that. Now KVR knowledge is coming to all the children present in the class. This is called which inheritance? Hierarchical inheritance. So different. I'm different from other teachers in almost all the ways. Huh? Pawan. So I mentioned separately now. So I'll mention separately. So I'm hierarchical inheritance, not multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance in Java not supported by classes concept. It is support. Why it won't support? ఎందుకు సపోర్ట్ చేయదు? ఊరికే సార్ చెప్తాడట అని మనం కూడా ఓకే సార్ అంటాం. ఇఫ్ ఐఎమ్ ద స్టూడెంట్ ఐ విల్ ఆస్క్ వై ఇట్ వోంట్ సపోర్ట్. ఐ విల్ ఆస్క్ వై ఇట్ వోంట్ సపోర్ట్. సార్ కూడా తెలియదు. హౌ ఇట్ విల్ సపోర్ట్ దెన్? దట్ విల్ సపోర్ట్ త్రూ ఇంటర్ఫేసెస్ కాన్సెప్ట్. వై ఇట్ వోంట్ సపోర్ట్ విత్ క్లాసెస్ కాన్సెప్ట్? రీజన్ ఉండదు వాళ్ళ దగ్గర. మీరు అడగరు కూడా. యూ వోంట్ ఆస్క్, దే డోంట్ టెల్ ద రీజన్ బికాస్ ఇట్ ఈస్ రిటర్న్ సమ్వేర్. దే విల్ టెల్ స్టూడెంట్ ఆల్సో సార్ సెడ్ నాట్ సపోర్టెడ్, నాట్ సపోర్టెడ్. వై? Questioning is required always. Without questioning, if you move forward, you are the problem. Correct or not? You have to ask the questions. You have to ask. You have to ask so many questions. So coming to the point of it, here I am going to say multiple inheritance is not supported in Java because there is an ambiguity when it is going to contain multiple classes, same data member. Same data member present into multiple base classes. When you come to derived class, all the data members are coming under same name. That time you will get ambiguity problems. If I rewrite that example with the interfaces, all the data members in the interfaces are internally treated as public static final data members. Static data members in Python, in Java are called with respect to class name or interface name. Interface name dot a, I1 dot a, I2 dot a, I3 dot b, I3 dot a, I2 dot a, I1 dot a of what? I1, I2, I3. It will be satisfied there. When it's because they don't know coding. First of all, you don't know what is the main function in Java. మీకు అసలు తెలుసు మెయిన్ ఫంక్షన్ గురించి. మళ్ళీ చెప్తారు నాకు సి వచ్చు అని. ఏమొచ్చు మీకు? మీరంటే మీరు కాదు. ఇన్ జనరల్ పీపుల్ ఆర్ ఫీలింగ్ దట్ దే నో సి లాంగ్వేజ్. యూ బ్రింగ్ వన్ సి లాంగ్వేజ్ ఫ్యాకల్టీ ఇయర్. ఫస్ట్ క్వశ్చన్ ఐ విల్ ఆస్క్ యూ. You tell me other than hash include and other than hash define. You tell me other things. ఏం వచ్చు వాళ్ళకు? వాళ్ళు క్లాస్కి వస్తారు చెప్పడానికి. They will come to the class to teach those students. That is the main drawback in our places. And if you see that yesterday and Sunday, Sunday means every Sunday I used to go to some relative house, some for some function. Here or there or something. When we go there, actually yesterday I wondered, students, I don't know that. Yesterday only I come to know. One relative girl only, she came. I know her from childhood days onwards. She is the one. Of course, I should not criticize because there is no rule that everybody need to read the subject, need to know the subject. Somebody will do business. Those who don't know education, they will maybe click in the business. They may click in the sports and games. So she failed actually 10th class. 2 times failed. Intermediate joined. Intermediate also failed. First year, second year completed in 4 years. Like a BTech. 10th class, 2 years. And she is working in school, it seems. When we are taking lunch time, when my relative asked, called her name and what are you doing? She's saying, I'm a teacher. I bend my head. So he's telling to me, my relative, I just spoke to her. I don't know whether he's a teacher or not. I also spoke to her because their parents are my relatives. But when she said that, now was somehow I disappointed. Of course, she can work as a teacher, but the teacher's qualities required, now. What qualities required? 6.2535 by 2.2535. What is an answer? Teacher should do that or not? Failed candidates will do what? Will they, if they go to the class, what will happen? Students also will be failed only now. Correct or not? So when you put a mango tree, mango plant will come, mango fruits will come. That's why teachers should be so perfect in the subject what they are handling it. Suppose if I go and teach instrumentation subject, students will go out of order. They should not go to that field because I don't know now. Correct or not? If I teach electronics, I'm unnecessarily disturbing their career. They should not go. What you are perfect, you have to teach that subject only. And if she go to the school and I asked him after she went off, which subjects he teach, I asked him. అడుగుతాను అంటున్నాడు ఆయన వద్దు అడగొద్దని చెప్పాను ఐ సైడ్ ఏ సబ్జెక్ట్ చెప్తుందని అడిగాను విచ్ సబ్జెక్ట్స్ ఈ టీచ్ అంటే ఈ సైడ్ ఓకే అడుగుతా మళ్ళీ అంటున్నాడు ఆ అమ్మాయి దూరంగా ఉంది షీఈస్ ఫార్ అవే ఫ్రమ్ దట్ ఫంక్షన్ ఈ సైడ్ ఐ విల్ ఆస్క్ నో డోంట్ ఆస్క్ జస్ట్ ఐఎమ్ ఆస్కింగ్ యూ మైట్ బి నోయింగ్ సో ఇఫ్ షీ టీచ్ ద సబ్జెక్ట్ వాట్ విల్ హ్యాపెన్ the total generation will go school at least will take 4 or 5 classes at entire day students will learn blunder only. This is what I don't want because I'm also teacher, she is also teacher. What is that? So that's why teaching should be not that much things here. So anyhow students, Faraj, my dear student, now we got to why you are not multiple inheritance, you are hierarchical inheritance. So multiple inheritance because why I am not multiple inheritance because your upper primary, primary, intermediate, and your BTech teachers are different. I don't want to be along with them. I want to be aside. I am solo. I'm I'm different. So I think you only decided I'm different because your feedback only made me different. Different. So my target is 90% above feedback. Then I have to take my classes. Otherwise, no. Otherwise, I'm not fit for teaching. 80% also I'm not fit for teaching. 95% above, then all I'm fit for teaching. Otherwise, I don't want to because I said at the beginning only. Oh, this is my 28 years and I'm taking still every day is a new day only. It doesn't mean that like a social teacher in our elementary school, government teachers, what they will do? Eating something, teaching something. Because of that only nobody is there in government schools. Okay, students, I'm unnecessarily becoming emotional. Now I will move to the further. So what is this? So let it be because everybody is not like we don't want to. So Pavan, why we are using hash in C language? Ask to my bro. He is in Java batch. He said no one told this. They are teaching only interview concepts. That's what I'm saying. Main function you take it because when I'm taking my breakfast time, lunch time, some classes are going on other side. Main function they will call. Any function present in the class, it is known as what? Method. What is main method first of all? They should tell that. What is the method? Why method is coming? What is the need of method? They need to tell. Method, they are saying. What is the method? You heard in your class method, in your colleges, that method only they are adding something, they are finishing it up. And a person like me taking an interview, you will see HD plus cinema, you will see, Blu-ray, you will see. So this is what our present education system students. Let it be students. So I want for us. So you asked me, I gave my explanation. So let it be. I will move to the further. Hierarchical inheritance, multiple inheritance, and hybrid inheritance. Are you following me? What is done? Multiple inheritance is done. Hybrid inheritance. Now, if I become chief minister of the state, first what I will do, he teaches and then teachers first. I will remove all the teachers in the state. Zero. Then I will take fresh from first class. From first class onwards. I will appoint one teacher who is a PhD in respective area. PhD, complete PhD. That people are responsible to bring that candidates up to fifth class. Fifth class. With fifth class, what will happen? English, you will get it. Whatever the knowledge, your English is important. Social studies, Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea, Nakothavenne, chart writing, attaching in the school project. I don't want directly after fifth class. Sixth class onwards, specialization will start. Specialization. Software, software, hardware, civil services, all specializations. Software directly 3 years language technology development. Fourth year is internship. Fifth project also, and then by the time it is getting 15 years, everything, and that is a good period for you people to grow your mind like anything. You will remember everything. Once 15 years is over, these people will settle down in the life. 15-year become software engineer. Whatever you learn in 15 years up to 18 years, 19 years, is it any use for you? అసలు గుర్తు చూసుకోండి మీరు. థింక్ అబౌట్ యువర్ లైఫ్ వన్స్. ఎనీ యూస్? ఓన్లీ ఫీజ్ యూ పెయిడ్. 15 years after, 21 years after that, whatever you learned, it just no use. Then 15 years, if you become software engineer, you can work in the life for 35 years, you can work. 50 years you will get, you can relax in the life. You can relax. And who is responsible up to 15 years? The same faculty will be continued. 90% of the people are getting job. He will be renewed for the next term to continue the teaching. Otherwise, 15 years over, life is over. Like an Indian army. As long as energy is there for training the student, you can train. Otherwise, go to home. And taking for joining report and continued up to 60 years. What that person will do 60 years? He doesn't have the patience to explain the students. And no engineering colleges, online, everything online. One expert in the state, like training everybody. College, big companies, take any student which you like it, conduct the test online. Whoever qualify, they will take. Why traffic jam and all those things. Every school one bus, every college one bus, traffic jam and all. Next elections, you elect me, okay? Voter list vote is there. Right. My dear student, just I'm joking. No such patience. So, Pawan, you're teaching unique, okay? My dear students. Now, just I'm going to saying that is my idea actually. By seeing college buses and all, unnecessary traffic, and in the college, so many students are there. If I enter into the bus asking how many Python data types are there, what they will say? How many data types? Don't know. What are the functions in dictionary? Don't know. What is the symbol hash? Don't know. And daily they will go to college, coming to college, lakhs of rupees paid. No use. So, Eunice, sir, if you try that, all those teachers will go to opposition party and protest against you. That's why. That's why I'm going to. Rakesh, all blank faces. That's what. Because for good things, there is no life these days. Correct or not? So something doing wrong, group of people will be there. Anyhow, come. So to the point. So now I will move to the further. Hybrid inheritance, I'm talking about it. Hybrid inheritance says what here? Something like this. In hybrid inheritance is what? Combination of these many number of inheritance types. What are the hybrid inheritance now? Like this. C1 to C2, C1 to C2, carefully follow. C1 to C2. That is called parent to what? Grandparent. Parent to this is grandparent. Grandparent is containing one child. His son is his parent is one, and that parent is having two childrens. That is called child one and then child two. This is known as what here? Observe it. First one is called what? Single. And the below one is called what? Hierarchical. It is a combination of two inheritances. It is known as which inheritance? Hybrid inheritance. This is called hybrid inheritance. Understand this. One more way you can treat it as what? This one and this one. This one. This is also called what? Two multi-levels are there. It is also known as what inheritance? Come on. Hybrid inheritance we can call. Are you following me? One more inheritance is called what? You look at now. This is called C1. C1 is giving to C2. C2 is giving to what? C3. C1 is giving to C1, C2, and this is called C3. C3. And this is called which inheritance? Hierarchical. Hierarchical. This C2 and C3 is further giving to whom? Is further giving to whom? C4. This is further giving to C4, which is known as which inheritance? Hybrid inheritance. This is above one is known as hierarchical, and below one is called what? Multiple. This is something like a diamond problem. This is also not supporting in Java, supported by what? Interfaces. But this is Java supports Python supports all types of inheritances perfectly. I'll show you multiple examples on this area. Are you able to follow now? Come on, come to the point. Are you okay? Right. So Madhu, so we just I'm joking in the class student because I feel very much inconvenient if a politician is going on the way by stopping all the total traffic jam. I feel very much inconvenient. An educationalist is doing a rally in Hyderabad for good, we support. The minister is going stopping the total vehicles, and he come after 10 minutes, vehicle stopped. And for going before 15 minutes, after 15 minutes, total traffic people will be waiting. So that is what is the present system in our India. So let it be, students, come to the point of it. Now I am going to enter into the hybrid inheritance. So is it understandable? Now I am entering into the further. So entering into this area, I want to show you the definitions here. Come to this point. Here I am going to write it. Open this now. Enter into this case. Single inheritance, multiple inheritance, and the definitions you observe it. Single inheritance here. So what the single inheritance says here? Definition. This inheritance contains single base class and a single derived class. Diagram C1 to C2. C1 is called superclass. C2 is called subclass. Single inheritance. Next, multi-level inheritance you see, students. Multi-level. What the multi-level contains? This inheritance contains single base class, single derived class, and intermediate base class. C1 is a superclass. C2, C3 is a subclass. C2 act as what? Subclass here and a superclass here. It is known as what? Intermediate base class. Next, one more thing. Hierarchical inheritance you see. Hierarchical. This inheritance contains single superclass and multiple subclasses. C1 to C2, C1 to C3, C1 to C4. This is known as what? One superclass, multiple subclasses is called hierarchical inheritance. Simple. Go to the next one. Multiple and hybrid inheritance also I want to show you. So this is what I am having. Multiple inheritance you see, ma. This inheritance contains multiple superclasses and a single derived class. Single derived class. Hybrid inheritance you see. Hybrid inheritance is equal to combination of any inheritance types. So diagram number 1, C1 to C2, single, and C2 to C3, C2 to C4 is hierarchical. It is a combination of two inheritances, students. It is also known as what here? Come on, hybrid inheritance. One more is called what? Diagram number 2, C1 to C2, C1 to C3. This is called what? Hierarchical. And below one is known as what? Multiple. This both of them are called what? Hybrid inheritance we can call. These are comes under types of inheritances. How many types of inheritances? Five. Spell out: single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, multiple, hybrid. So what is the use of inheritance now? To get the data members, methods, constructors from one class to another class. Already in the top class, they defined the code already. They worked out already. That code, if I want as it is, don't put your efforts to define the same thing. Get that efforts as it is into my place. One advantage. That efforts will not take a new space in my place. That is called another advantage. That is mechanism is known as what? Virtual memory management we can call. Understand that? Fine. If you take an example, Windows development, you take it. Windows 11, for example, uses Windows 10 code because the existing code they are using, they are adding the new facility to what? Windows 11 newly. Mobiles also you take it. Windows 10 uses Windows 9. Like that, all previous versions of Windows are carrying forward and they are adding extra mechanism. Mobiles also you see, mobile softwares also follows inheritance. So now I'm going to enter into the how to inherit the features, inheriting the features of base class into derived class, inheriting the features of inheriting the features of which class? Base class into which class? Derived class. Inheriting the features of base class into derived class. Now I'm going to enter into this place. Very, very simple. Let us move to the further. Inheriting the features of base class into derived class. So to inherit the features of base class into derived class, we use the following syntax. To inherit the features of base class, to inherit the features of base class into derived class, we use the following syntax. We use the following syntax. So what is the syntax? Now I'm going to write it. Very simple. Class, class name, class name. Here I'm going to write it. Here I'm going to write it. Block of statements. Here I'm going to write it. Block of statements. Now I'm going to write it. One more type of class I'm writing. Class name 1 was already defined it, having some data members here. Class name 2, class name 2 I'm taking. There I'm trying to write it. Another type of features I'm writing separate. These two classes are separate now. So class name 2 want to get the features of class name 1. Features means data members, methods and functions. How to get these data members and methods into class name 2? Write in angular bracket from that tuple bracket you use it. Now I'm writing, class name 1 you will write it. Class name 1 you will write it. Indentation symbol. Because of the syntax, all the data members and methods of class name 1 are coming into where? Class name 2. And all these data members, methods and constructors are available into class name 2 without having any memory space, without you are keeping your efforts to define the same thing in your class name 2. So class name 2 contains how many things are there? Two things are there. Virtual features of class name 1 into class name 2 plus physical features of what? Class name 2. So class name 2 contains two divisions here. Properties of what? The class name 1 virtually, properties of class name 2 physically. So what is an advantage? You are not keeping any efforts of class name 1 to define into class name 2. That's a special advantage. Now that you are understanding. If I write only like this, it is called which inheritance? Single inheritance. So I will remove. Next time writing one more type of class I am saying here. One more type of class. Class name 2. Class name 3. I am writing class name 3. If I want to get this class name 1, class name 2 in this place, what I will write it? Class name 1, comma what? Class name 2. I can get both of them into this place. Both of them into this place. So both of them I got it here. Finally, I got a conclusion. Class name 1, class name 2, class name 3, I got it. Finally, I'm going to have a conclusion here. Class name 2, class name 3, class name 1, comma, class name 2. So finally, I'll take it as n here. N. This is one simplest conclusion. So I'm writing an explanation. Carefully follow. So explanation I'm going to give it. So there I'm trying to write this now. So try to answer me. Here first point I'm writing. Here class name 1, class name 1, class name 2. So on I'm writing class name 1, comma class name 2. So on I'm going on getting class name n are called represents represents name of the base classes. Go Rasan. I'll write one more here, students. Class name n, like this n I will write it. Class name n. So on I will write class name n. Class name n I am writing. So class name n I am writing. So represents name of the base classes. Name of the base or super classes. Because concept must be uh, easy and easy to understand. Next, class name n plus 1 represents, here I am writing, class name n plus 1, class name n plus 1 represents name of the derived class, name of the derived class or subclass or, or subclass. So here I am writing subclass. So here I am going to take it. So class name n plus 1 represents name of the derived or subclass. And this syntax, and one more thing is here all the features of base class, here I'm writing, here all the features of all the features of base classes, here I'm writing all the features of base classes in the bracket, these features are inherited inherited into into derived class. What is the derived class name here? Class name n plus 1. CL is name. What is this now? N plus 1. This is n plus 1. N plus 1 I will write it. N plus 1. Class name n plus 1 is called derived class. Here all the features of base classes are inherited into derived class here. Derived class. And all the features of base classes, all the features of base classes are or available available in derived class, available in derived class virtually. Virtually means what? I already said to you, virtually. So we can access them like a normal properties only. How do I access them? If it is instance data member, I will access with respect to object name. If it is a class level data member, we can access with respect to class name. If it is a static method, we can access with respect to class name. Which class name? Derived class name only. We can access. So we can access like a normal properties only. That normal properties you understood already. So that point is more clear. So I think students, this is more clear. And the next point is what? Whenever you develop like this, which type of object to create, I'm going to give you one small conclusion here. Take care. I'm taking one small example. All of you follow. I'm taking, this is called our C1 here. This is called a C1. Next is called a C2. Next is called a C2. Next is called a C3. This is called a C3. What is this C3? C1 contains A is equal to 1. A is equal to 1 is there. B is equal to 2 I am having. B is equal to 2 I am having. And C is equal to 3 I am having, for example. And I am going to apply the inheritance concept here. Inheritance concept, I will write it. How do you write the skeleton code, ma? Class C1, some skeleton code I am having. Class C2 I am taking. C2 of what I am writing? C1 I am writing. So here I am writing like this. How do I write it here? Class C3 you are writing. Of what you are saying? C1. Which type of inheritance it is? Multi-level. Multi-level. Okay. How do you do this example? Come on. O1 is equal to what? You are writing C1 C1 you are saying, right? O2 is equal to what are you doing? C2 you are saying. Next, what are you doing here? O3 is equal to what you are writing? C3 you are taking. Come on. How do you access now? What you can access and what you cannot access, you need to say. O1 dot A, yes, you can access. O1 dot B, O1 dot B, you cannot access. O1 dot C, you cannot access because B and C are special data members in C2 and C3. But which object you are creating? C1. So C1 object contains the details about what only? A. It doesn't contain B and C. When I am inheriting, what will come in this place? A also will come. Now tell me what you can access with respect to O2. O2 dot A you can access. O2 dot B you can access. But O2 dot C you cannot access. O2 dot C you cannot access. I think you are following me. Now when you come to O3, C3 here, what is available? A is equal to 1, B is equal to 2 is also available in C3. How do you access now? O3 dot A is accessible, O3 dot B is accessible, O3 dot C also can be accessible. O3 also C can be accessible. So in this inheritance mechanism, by taking which class object you can access everything. With O1 only one data member I am accessing. With C2 I am accessing two things. With O3 I am accessing everything I am accessing. With O3 I am accessing everything. So tell me now, which class object better to create in the inheritance? Bottommost class object only I can create. Bottommost class object only I can create because it can access not only its features, intermediate things, and the topmost class features also we can access. So that is the point I want to bring it here. I think students, you are understanding. When we develop, when we develop any inheritance based application, when we develop any inheritance based applications, it is always recommended, it is always recommended to create an object of mm, bottommost derived class. Bottommost derived class. Bottommost derived class you can create because it contains, it inherits, it inherits the features of, it inherits the features of what? It inherits the features of what class? Intermediate base class, intermediate base class, intermediate base classes, intermediate base classes, and what next? Topmost base class, topmost base class. So I think you are following me. So here I'm going to say, when we develop any inheritance based application, it is always recommended to create an object of bottommost derived class because it inherits the features of intermediate base classes and what? Topmost base class. I think it is the most important. You understood, I think so. And the last point is when we develop bottommost derived class you created because it inherits all the features we created. Last one I'm going to take it. Whenever I write, take it now. C1, C2, C3. C3 superclass is what? C2. C2 superclass is what? C1. C1. So C3 is having an explicit superclass called C2. C2 is having an explicit superclass called C1. And C1 is having explicitly no superclass is available. So C1 is having implicitly one superclass is present over there. That superclass is called object. That superclass is called object. So object is the implicit predefined superclass. I'll explain that. Implicit predefined superclass. Predefined superclass. It is an implicit predefined superclass. Sir, why it is an implicit predefined superclass? Because it will provide garbage collection facility to its subclasses. Garbage collection facility to its subclasses. Garbage collection facility to its subclasses. The garbage collection code was present in where? Object class. That's why to every class of Python, who is the superclass? Object class. So చూసుకోండి సరే. Go to the place of Python. Go to the place of Python. Who is a list superclass? Who is a list superclass? Help. Who is a list superclass? List is a class. Class list of what? Object. What is an object? Superclass for every class. Superclass for every class. If I define my own class also, ఇక్కడ నేను నా క్లాస్ డిఫైన్ చేస్తాను. క్లాస్ C1 అంటాను ఇక్కడ. క్లాస్ C1 pass. C1 pass. C1 is my own class. C1 doesn't have a superclass. C1 is having the superclass called what? Object. How? Help of what? C1. Object class belongs to what? Every class of Python belongs to what? Object. మీరంతా వేస్ట్ క్యాండిడేట్స్ అసలు. Every class of Python belongs to what? Module. Every class belongs to object. అసలు ఎవరు చెప్పాడు మీకు అది? మీకు ఎవరు చెప్పినారు అది అసలు? Who said that? Every class belongs to module. Every class belongs to object అని చెప్పింది కూడా మీకు అసలు. By using class name you can create object. You don't add your own spicy to the subject. You don't add your own masala to the subject. If you add your own spicy to the subject, it will become poison. నేను చెప్పింది ఏంది మీకు? ఎవరీ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ విల్ హ్యావ్ ఏ క్లాస్ అని చెప్పాను. మీరేం చెప్తున్నారు? ఎవరీ క్లాస్ కంటైన్స్ వాట్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ అని చెప్తున్నారు. కొద్దిగా ఉండాలి కదా. సో ఎవరీ క్లాస్ ప్రజెంట్ ఇన్ వేర్? Module. So module definition. A module is a collection of what? Classes. Class is a collection. Module is a collection of global variables, functions. Class name. Come on now. Class C1. What is this? Object present in where? Built-ins. Object is a class present into built-ins module. అర్థమవుతుందా మధుబాబులో? So you said every class belongs to object, you said. These are all called bouncers to me. The moment when you say wrong answer, that will hit my head. So take care, students. Now help of object I am writing. Help of object I am writing. Who is a superclass for object? Who is a superclass for object? No superclass. చూసుకోండి అక్కడ క్లాస్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ మాత్రమే ఉంటుంది. There is no bracket contains what? Object of is not there. Object is a superclass. Are you following? So don't go to class object only. It is not containing class of this one. Base class is there. Class of list contains what? Here list contains what? Object. So every class I am writing for every class in Python, for each and every class in Python, for each and every class in Python, every class in Python, there exists an implicit, predefined superclass called object, because it provides what? Garbage collection facility. It provides garbage collection facility to its subclasses. Garbage collector is coming from where? Garbage collector facility coming from object class. Garbage collection code is written into which class? Object class. From there it is generated into every class. That is every class object if you create in your program, automatically that is going to be collected by who? Garbage collector. So by coming from where? Object class. Suppose I am writing something like a normal Python program I am writing. X.py. A is equal to 10, B is equal to 20, C is equal to A plus B. Print of A, B, C. Program execution is over. What will happen? A, B, C are the objects created in my class whose memory space will be destroyed. Who will destroy? Garbage collector, which contains which code? Destructor. So from where that code is coming? Object class. So how it is related to object class here? Because I did not write any oops program here. Now the concept is A, B, C are what? Objects of which class? Int class. Int, who is a superclass for int class? Who is a superclass for int? Modhu ఇక్కడ రాసిందేందా ఇక్కడ? Every class in Python super class is what? Object. For int class, float class, bool class, what are all the data types are there? Whose superclass is what? Object class. So here I am writing it. One important point for every subtype, for every class, for every class name, there exists a super type. There exists a super type called what? Object. Object. So you have to understand. So object is a super data type for all the data types. అర్థమవుతుంది అసలు? In other words, in other words, in other words, object class, object type, object class type is the super type, is the super type for all the data types. For all the data types, super type for all the data types. For all the data types. Very, very important in NumPy and Pandas. దానికోసమే రాశాను ఇక్కడ. Int type, float type, bool type, list type, tuple type. Who is the super type of all of them? One, object type. Very, very important point. This comes under the topic of what? Inheritance. So, students, I hope this is my concept. This is a syntax and concepts based related formulas and good things. And we need to go to the programming. Clear or not clear? So, simple example I want to introduce. Very small example I want to introduce. Into float bool complex. Who is a super type? Maybe data types. Who is a super type of all of them? Object. There are 3 children. Who is a super type of all of them? Parents. Right? X type, Y type, Z type. X, Y, Z boss is there. The boss type is called super type. Who is the boss type in this case? Object. So object is a super type of all the types. Very, very important. In NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, this is very important. So now I am going to enter into the further. This is about concept. Inheritance meaning, inheritance definition, inheritance advantages, types of inheritances, how to inherit the features of this. Now I'll go to the small example. First, a small example, I want to go for it. So many examples. Actually, when you come to this place, if you observe this things, classes and object one pair, this encapsulation abstraction another pair, inheritance and polymorphism is one more thing. But I'm explaining inheritance separately for you. Later, I will add polymorphism to the inheritance. Okay, so I'll go to my topic here. Go to PyCharm now. So in the PyCharm, I will go for doing something. Close this project. Close this project. Go to 9am Oops. Close all these things. Close everything. So you need to practice. So go to this place. So here I'm going to take it. So take this as what? Sorry. Non-inheritance program, I will write it. Non-inheritance PROG.py. Without inheritance, what is happening? I am going to show you. Non-inheritance program, I am going to write it. So I'm writing non-inheritance program PROG1.py. So there I'm going to write it. Class C1. Be careful, students. There I'm taking one method. DEF display one. So I'm writing here C1 display one. C1 display one, I'm going to write it. C1 display one, I'm going to write it. It is completed. Next, I want to take it one more type of class. Class C2, I'm going to take it. Class C2. This is another class I'm going to take it. Class C2, I'm going to take it. DEF display 2, I'm going to take it. There I'm going to write it. Print of what C2 display 2, I'm going to take it. Display 2, I'm going to take it. Display 2. So this is my classes. C1 and C2 are the two classes. C1 and C2 are the two classes I'm having. They are separate. There is no relation between both of them. They are isolated classes. Main program. Now I'm asking, how do you call display 1 and display 2 with your knowledge so far? What methods they are called? Instance method. Instance method. Both of them are instance method. How do you call them? How do you call them? Create object of C1 and C2. So O1 is equal to C1 of O2 is equal to what you know C2 of. O1 is equal to C1 of. O2 is equal to C2 of. O2 is equal to C2 of. Now call the methods. For O1 is concerned, some memory space. For O2 is concerned, some memory space. And you are calling O1 dot what you know display 1. Display 1. O2 dot what here display 2. When you are calling display 1 and display 2, two times memory space is created for methods. So totally 4 lines will take 4 different memory spaces. Here, when it is getting executed, some memory space is created. Some memory space is created in heap memory. Heap memory, stack memory, heap memory. Stack memory uses what? Compile time memory allocation like our C language. In Python, memory space will be allocated during our execution time only. That is called what? Heap memory. Dynamic memory we can call. Simple. RAM, main memory. Main memory contains two memories. Stack memory, heap memory. Stack memory contains what? Compile time allocations, compile time memory allocations. But in Python, no compile time memory allocation. Dynamic memory allocation only will follow. That is called what? Heap memory. So O1 object created memory space, O2 object created memory space. When you call display 1 will contain some memory space in heap that will be created having something. This is also memory spaces created. Overall, 4 memory spaces are created. If I write another class called C3, C4, C5, for that also memory spaces will be created. If I create 10 classes, 10 objects I have to create, 10 times I have to call their methods like this. Now execute this program now. Execute this program now. Here it is going to contain C1 display 1, C2 display 2 off. So how many memory spaces are created? 2 memory spaces are created here. 2 memory spaces are created here. O1 dot display, O2 dot display, C2 dot etc. So this is 4 things are there. Go to same program with inheritance. Carefully follow. Here I'm going to give you one more example I'm taking. Go to this place. Here I'm writing new. Here I'm saying INHERITANCE2.py. Done. Go to this place. Total logic you take it. Total logic you carry. And in this place you try to place it. What is this inheritance is? Don't write separate classes. When you feel that you need this C1, don't write this also here. Remove the 4 things. Now you write C2 want this definition also. What you will write simply here of what you will write it C1. So what is happening? See the symbolic notation also here. See the symbolic notation. It says that inherited into which class? C2. So create an object of what? O2 is equal to what? C2 of. C2 is equal to O2 of. So on behalf of O1, C1 and C2, one object is enough. So in that, what is happening? In C2, how many methods are available? 2. One method is called what? One method is called what here? C1 date method is coming. Plus C2 method is also going to come. C1 method is going to come. Plus C2 method is also going to come. Are you following me? So how do you do that? O2 dot what? F1. O2 dot what next? O2, sorry. This is called what here? Display 1. Next is called what next? O2 dot what? Display 1. First step. O2 dot what again? Display 2. Display 2. Now how the flow will be? Come on. Display 1 called with respect to O2. O2 is an object of C2. PVM control goes to O2. C2. Sorry. Looks for what? Display 1 method. There are not there. Come on. There are not there. It is there. How it is available? Virtual it is available, which is getting executed, which is getting no doubt in that. Display one memory space is created. But you are not keeping your work to define display one again. Next what? Auto dot display two. Same. It will come to physically there is a method is available. There also three memory spaces are there. Earlier, how many memory spaces? Four. Here, how many memory spaces? Three. Definitely inheritance is far better than what? Separate classes. Separate classes, it is far better than that. So definitely inheritance is an appreciable. When I go to what do you call polymorphism, I never go for writing three. I will write only two lines, only two memory spaces, nothing taking. You write thousands of classes. C1, C2, C3, C4, C1000 you will write it. Only two lines I will write it. Only two memory spaces will create. It won't take that many memory spaces as like normal classes. So try to execute now. Try to run this code now. So here I am going to write it. C1 dot display, C2 dot display. C1 dot display, C2 dot display. I hope you are getting it. C1 dot display, C2 dot display. Both of them are coming. I think you are following me. So earlier one, what is the difference? Here four objects are there totally. Here how many objects? So let us take one more also here. Go to this place. Take one more level of inheritance. I will take it. So here I am going to take it 2.py. So I am writing here INHPROG 2.py 2.py. So this is okay 2.py. This is called a 2.py. Let it be. What I do is this is the first example. I want to keep it. Go to this place. Output is okay. This you come to this. Here I will come and do some changes, students. So here I will do INHPROG 1.py. So there I do, this is my interested logic. This is I will keep it in the beginning. This stage what I want to keep it. This stage what I want to keep it is, this is called 1.py. This is as it is you keep it single inheritance. Now I'm going to write it one more type of class. What is the class now? C3 of what I'm doing, C2. Say that DEF display 3, display 3. There I'm writing it print of what I'm writing C3 display 3 display 3. So there I'm trying to create which object? O3 is equal to C3 of O3 dot display 1, O3 dot display 2, O3 dot display 4, display 3. These are the three things. How many are there totally? If it is a normal classes, I need to create 6 objects. But here it is going to take only 4. So display 1 is coming to this C2. From C2 it is coming to where? C3. So physical thing becomes virtual. Virtual becomes again virtual here. So you will be getting how many outputs? 3 outputs you are getting it. I think you are following me. So with respect to this now, suppose if I remove this inheritance link, if I remove, what is an error is coming? Display 1, display 2, you see already an error here. You will get which error? Attribute error, you will get it. Attribute error, you will get it. Of course, keep a colon. Only O3 is possible. Go to this place. C3 has an attribute called what? Display. So it is an error. Attribute error is coming. So you cannot call. C2 display also error. Only display 3 is an answer. You will get it. So I need to write what here? C2 I need to write it. C2 I need to write it. C2. I need to write a C2. So try to run this code. So we are getting C1 display 1, C2 display 2, C3 display 3 is going to come. Are you able to follow now? Right. What inheritance it is? Multi-level. So multi-level. So this examples, multiple examples. Next class I will cover it. Okay. Multiple examples. More examples I will cover in the next class. So today I covered the concept, importance of inheritance, and the definitions, various definitions I made you to understand. And the syntax also I made you. Next class I'll go for examples on this, and I will add polymorphism also in the last hour. Right? Tomorrow don't miss it. Important. Right? Carry on. 6 o'clock students, new batch is started. Any friends are there? You can intimate. Thank you. Carry on.